Hey, today we are moving along into the transpersonal profiles, and today we are talking about the 5-1. So 5 being the conscious aspect of the profile, and 1 being the unconscious. And the 5-1 is known as the Heretic Investigator. They often combine really practical, solution-orientated energy of the line 5 with the sort of foundational research aspects of the line 1. And people with this profile are often seen as the natural problem solvers. But as we will discover further in this video, they're not here to solve all problems. We'll discuss that further. And they're often called upon to provide guidance and answers and leadership at times of challenge. And just to break it down into the 2 lines, so the 5 being the heretic, this is a lot about a heretic energy. I would say it's a very universal energy. It is someone that people may see as, I don't know, almost like a hero, but not quite. Like they're here to save the day, or they're here to rescue a situation, or they're here to provide a solution, or they're here to provide leadership. And the 1 is very much about, seeking understanding through research, through reading, through having conversations, through study, really, and testing their knowledge and their wisdom and their learning about a particular topic. And that helps them provide quite a reliable foundation, so that then when they are called upon and it is within their skill set, it's the sort of guidance that can be very reliable, I could say. So yeah, the healthy sort of expression of this profile is when the 5-1 takes their time to understand a subject and a subject thoroughly before stepping into a leadership role that may require their wisdom of that. And when they skip this investigation phase, often what can happen is that there'll be almost like a failed attempt at meeting other people's expectations without sufficient grounding, and they can often feel quite exposed, criticized, and misunderstood. So how the 5-1, if you are a 5-1, wishes to best use this profile is, trusting the research phase, being selective about expectations. So this is something that you definitely have to manage. If someone comes to you and asks for guidance or leadership on something that is not within your field of expertise, it's not something that you're interested in, or even if it is something that you're interested in, but you haven't built a solid enough foundation about how it works, then you need to let these people know, look, this is not something that's in my field of expertise at the moment. Maybe you wish to speak to someone else. It's going to help prevent a lot of misunderstanding later and a lot of projection that can occur later as well. And of course, if you are called upon something that is within your field of expertise, then offer those practical solutions. Very important that you do. Otherwise, you're just hiding them away, not sharing them with the world when the world needs them. And protecting your reputation. And this comes back to managing people's expectations. So not taking on a task that you're not equipped to deal with. Because yes, you can be seen as someone that's going to save the day or be able to take them through something with all the solutions and the leadership that they need, blah, 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 blah. But as soon as you don't meet that expectation, it can have quite a damaging effect on your reputation. And yeah, so also following your personal authority. So whatever that is for you in your human design, please do so. So I personally am a 5-1. My authority is environmental, or also called mental, and a projector obviously is the only one that can have that kind of authority. So I have to engage that authority prior to agreeing for the invitation. Again, being a projector, to then be able to see, is this something that my skills are going to be best used towards? Is the work going to be heard and understood by others? Do they actually want my guidance? And is it in my field of expertise? So these are the kind of a short process and way in which explaining how I would use my authority and my type with also my profile. Okay, so common challenges the 5-1 can experience are things like being put on a pedestal, which again, you can manage by managing people's expectations. Feeling responsible for everyone, and it's not, again, can be managed by managing expectations. Over researching, so there is also an aspect in which there's too much research happening and not enough actual pulling that learning and knowledge into wisdom or into situations and that can be practically used. And there can be a fear of failure as well. If you don't get it right, the reputation of you as a person within a community or a friendship group or workplace or whatever can really be at jeopardy. So that all feeds in and of itself. Now, how can others support a 5-1? You may ask if you know them. Is obviously respecting their need to understand, avoid excessive projection if you can. So coming from a place of curiosity instead of making assumptions about the person with that profile. Valuing their expertise when it's within their field. You've asked, you've called upon it, they have shared it. If there's a lack of appreciation of that, or like even just a disregarding, it doesn't encourage the 5-1 to share information again. And providing clear expectations as well. So saying what the boundaries are, what you're expecting, what's the process, all of that sort of thing. What are you wanting from them? Quite clearly from the get-go. And even if that changes, letting them know in that process and along the way. And allowing healthy boundaries. The 5-1s, because they spend a lot of their time in that research phase, it often means that they're not probably they're not really considered a super social profile. They're not the most hermit of the profiles. There are some more hermit profiles than this one. But it also, that they're not generally going to be the most super social. So if they need alone time to decompress, to research more, to whatever it is that they need to come back to themselves, then allowing them to do that. Because then, when they show up for what you require them for, they're better of service, for you and the project and what it is that you're working towards. So at the highest expression, you could say the 5-1 profile really brings quite a grounded wisdom into practical application. And that sort of thing is so necessary in these times. It's great to have ideas. It's great to research things all the time, but you need that bridge between the two, and that's where this sort of grounded practical wisdom is paramount, because it can be easy for people to come up with ideas, and it can be easy for people to think they know how to do something in their head or even with their hands, but to be able to communicate that in a way in which it can be applied to a particular situation, and in each unique particular situation that expertise may cover is very important. That could be very much that kind of missing link to make the whole project, the whole situation click better into place, and put it that way. They investigate thoroughly, they offer solutions that are very meaningful, and they can create quite a meaningful change, for individuals, for groups, for collectives as a whole. And their greatest contribution is not necessarily merely knowing things or having some kind of knowledge, but the ability to transform that knowledge into something useful, accessible, and practical. And I love being a 5-1. I wouldn't have it any other way. If you're a 5-1, let me know. If you have one in your life, let me know. If you've got any questions, leave that in the comment section down below. And the next profile we'll be talking about is the 5-2. So the slight variation of the 5-1. And we'll see you again soon.